Okay, so now we're gonna start those hip mobility and quad strengthening exercises. Like I said, these exercises are not gonna be super intense, mainly because we're focusing on that balance and coordination aspect. So we're not gonna do a lot of reps, but in a normal workout, which I'm not doing it today just because I'm demonstrating and showing you the cues and techniques to use, you should do about three sets by 5 to 10, okay? So with that, you wanna make sure you're also doing each side, and then also that will add up for the workout to be around that 45-minute to a 1 hour mark, okay? So first we're gonna focus on our narrow squats. So with our narrow squats, this is mainly gonna focus on our quads right here, okay? So with that, you wanna make sure, let me show you my feet for this. Okay, so we wanna make sure our toes are parallel together and are just like right under our shoulders, okay? So with this, we wanna try to get down and up. And we wanna try to get as close to our butt as possible, okay? You should be able to feel it in your quads, and you might even feel it in this anterior tibialis right here, okay? From the side, this is what it's gonna look like, okay? So find that stance. I'm gonna go down and then back up, okay? Let's say you're not able to get down that far, which is totally fine because we're trying to work through those muscles. You can use a block or even a weight to elevate your heels. And with elevating your heels, this is going to disengage some of those posterior muscles and make this exercise easier for you. So you're able to achieve that full range of motion, okay? So you just put your heels on. Look how much farther I can go down. I can pretty much sit my butt on the back of my feet, which I was not able to do before. And then come back up, okay? So we're going down and then up. And you should be able to feel it right here in these teardrop quad muscles right there, okay? So there's one thing to think about. And then from the front, I'm gonna show you. So right here, you got that stance. Our heels are elevated. We're gonna go down, we're gonna come back up. One thing we really wanna make sure is that we're stabilizing those quads, okay? We don't want them shifting around like this. We especially don't want them to touch and create that valgus motion, okay? Bad, 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 especially for quad strength. That is something we definitely wanna avoid because that is just gonna create more injuries for us, which we do not want. So we're coming down here and back up, down and up, okay? And this is going to be, these narrow squats are going to be very vital for exercises that we will be doing later. So the next exercise that we are trying to accomplish is single leg squats with a box or chair. So especially with this, because we're going to be focusing with one leg on stability, those narrow squats are really good to have, especially with strengthening those quad muscles, okay? So with that, we are going to need a chair for this next one, okay? So a chair, a box, even a table if it's high enough for you. The way to progress this exercise is higher you get, and you want trying to get that lower area until you're able to do a pistol squat, which is you being able to go from standing to pretty much almost sitting on the ground and back up with one leg. We're not gonna get that far advanced, but that is kind of the exercise you're kind of looking to move up towards, okay? So we're just gonna be working on that single leg squat with the box, which is also a very, very good quad strengthening exercise. So I'm gonna be using this chair right here. So first I will go from the front. So you can start from standing or you can start from sitting, whichever you prefer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right leg first. And what essentially you want to happen is you wanna come, I'm gonna start standing, I'm gonna sit, and then we're gonna come back up, okay? Or at least we're gonna try, okay? So this leg should be up. Arms are gonna be out in front of you to help you balance, okay? So that's where the balance component comes in, especially because we are using one leg. So we're gonna come here, We're gonna go ahead, sit down in the chair, then come right back up. So you're really gonna feel it in that lower quad right there, okay? All right, and then from the side, let me show you what that's gonna look like. We're gonna be here. Our leg's gonna be out. We're balancing. We're gonna come down and back up. Good. So again, we wanna make sure that we're stabilizing those knees, making sure they're not caving in. We don't want them wobbling all over. We want it to come down and straight up. One solid and fluid motion, okay? Another way you can do these is against the wall. Let me try to find a better angle for this. All right, so with this, being up against the wall is going to remind your body to make sure that we are not moving our leg out this way, okay? So I'm gonna show you what this is gonna look like. So again, we're gonna start from standing. We're gonna come down and back up. The left is very weak. But essentially that wall, or if you have a partner that you're working out with, holding a resistance band, to always kind of keep that mind, that thought in your mind, to not try to make that valgus force and try to push those legs out, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but focusing on those few little things is gonna be so essential for your workouts. Okay. So with that, again, those are single leg squats, so you're really gonna feel it, but also is gonna focus on that balance and coordination of where your arms are, the proprioception, knowing where your body is in space, okay? The last exercise that we're gonna talk about is single leg forward lunges with no shoes. So you can do all these exercises with no shoes if you'd like. No shoes is just going to create more of a balance component. Because we have those shoes that are very ergonomic friendly, they kind of create a support for us inside, which we don't really normally think about, because when we're working out, normally we wear shoes. That's just a very normal thing that most of us do. Without shoes, it's just your foot on the ground. So it's gonna create more, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult compared to what you're used to, especially if you're consistently working out with shoes. And if stationary ground becomes too easy, you can also progress that to an uneven space. So using a Bosu ball or a Dynadisc, or even being outside, is going to create a more unbalanced area for you to work in. So we're just going to work on forward lunges. So let me take my shoes off for you. All right. Okay. So with this exercise, again, no shoes on, but we really just want to focus on where those knees are and our quad strength, okay? So with these, you're gonna come here, we're gonna come down, and then back up. That's it. Down, up, staying engaged the whole entire time. Awesome. And then from the side, this is what it should look like. Come down here, and then up, and down, and up. And that's all we have to do. So, very easy. It's not a very difficult exercise, but because those were very simple, you're good. With that exercise, that is probably one that you'll need with a more uneven space, or at least I would personally. But again, it's very different for everyone what you're looking for. So, a couple more demonstrations with the lunge. What you really want to focus on is, again, not shifting that knee in. Keep it straight. Again, this is something where you could have a partner or a friend using that resistance band. Make sure you're not caving in or using a wall, okay? So when you come down, you really want to focus on making sure that toe and that knee and toe are not going over one another. So we're about here. So that's good. If it goes too over, then that whole entire complex and our muscles are engaged that shouldn't be engaged, okay? So if you need to, make it more narrow. And again, these are gonna be progression. You might not get all the way down to the ground. These may be difficult, and that's okay. But that's why they are in our flexibility, balance, and coordination exercises. So those are the ones that we focused on today with hip mobility and quad strength. But that is all we have for today.